Hey y'all, welcome back to Dots and Beyond. I'm Beth. Today we're going to kick off April. Let's go ahead and get started. We are planning for April 1st through the 7th. Love it. So January started on a Monday, April's starting on a Monday, and July is going to start on a Monday. It's very exciting. Those are the things we in the planner community get excited about. All right, we are going to go ahead and get this done. I've gone ahead and put in some washi tape in sort of my colors. It's a little more green, but it looks like a cheetah print. It's lots of random dots, which is a cheetah print, not the rosettes with the dot in the middle, which is a leopard print. There's a very big difference, don't get me started, on the fact that the world at large cannot tell the difference between those very different cats. The cheetah is my favorite animal, by the way, so I do get a little testy when people call cheetah print leopard print or leopard print cheetah print. I mean, just biologically, they're two very different animals, too, by the way. The cheetah is very thin and nimble because it has to have a lot of speed. Its tail is longer than a leopard's tail. Its tail is almost the full length of its body to balance itself when it's running, 70 miles an hour. And then it has tears. So if you ever look at it, a cheetah has black lines that run from the inside corners of its eyes down towards its mouth and curve outward. It has cheetah tears. And then leopards they're big. They are thick creatures. They're very muscular because they haul their prey up into trees. Oh, another interesting fact about cheetahs, their claws, like normal cats, do not retract. Their claws are like dog's claws. They're always out. Biologically, two very different animals. They have very different spots. One of those pet peeves that I just will not let go of. You would tell me, what are your pet peeves this Easter morning or afternoon by the time this gets posted? I am again filming day of. So lots of things have happened around here in the last week that are exciting developments for me. So when I moved, Kenny took the opportunity to move out and move in with his significant other. My youngest son was here because he was in transition between having moved to Oklahoma and coming back from Oklahoma. He has now, as of last night, moved out, and my nest is empty. The quiet this morning is almost jarring and yet not unwelcome. Absolutely not unwelcome. Love my kids. They both have keys. They can come by whenever they darn well want to, but it is nice to have my nest empty again. If you missed it, I am using my kit with the theme of the aquamarine door, which is very Atlantean, seaside, seashells, bottles, sea creatures, columns, and obviously, being the aquamarine door, my main colors are these aquamarine blues, but then I also very consciously picked sand colors to go along with those so that we're keeping our seashore theme. All right, so I've gone ahead and got those put in. I'm going to go ahead and put in my little meal icon. I do have 4 or 5 meal icons that come along in the kit. I always forget to put them in. They just need to live here-ish down here with April. I could probably spread those out some more. I'm not going to worry. Okay, so there we go. First thing we're going to do is put in my little sun symbol for what my CoStar app is going to send me for the week. I just checked before I started filming. I haven't received that yet. Last week, it said you have a desire for indulgence in the way you attach meaning to the world. You will notice frictionless movement in the way you naturally process emotion. I don't know about that. I don't know if it was frictionless. It's an emotional week. Our CoStar thing is in there. My circle here got a little honky. That's okay. If you're new here, we have gotten to the point in our lives on this channel where we don't sweat when mistakes happen. We just let them go out into the universe. There are some of those who would like to come along and point out our mistakes like we don't know they're there. But we know they're there, and we don't care. I'm also gonna highlight this top row just above this washi tape to put in where I'm working for the week. I also chose a sand-colored calligraph to go along with this, what is it called? Pale turquoise dot marker from Zig to be my complementary colors. I also use a gold every month. It's just one of those things that I do. Monday, I am in office. And then remote office on Wednesday. I don't have anything disrupting my week, so it should be my pretty standard in the office Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, remote Tuesday, Friday. Let's do meetings first because I have another week where there's one of those meetings that falls on a lunch hour. Not my favorite thing on the planet. I am going to do the dot thing for my meetings again. What does that mean? I'm going to draw a little line on my, let's say 8:30 to 4:30. Most people in my organization will graciously stay away from 8 o'clock meetings or 4 o'clock meetings and leave us in peace when you're either coming in the door or trying to get back out. Do have a fair number of meetings this week. Some of them are all related to the same thing. Much of it is event planning, per the usual. I mentioned in my last plan with me how I would really love to take a week off and finish getting my new apartment pulled together. Partially because I'm going to do, this was my office, this is now my office, videos strictly for my patrons. And I haven't had time to get my office pulled together. It's kind of pulled together. From here, the desk, back, we're looking pretty good. From the front of the desk forward, my office is the storage area for all of my artwork in the home because I haven't figured out if I want to put it back on a similar wall. Like if it was in the living room, do I want to go back to living room? Do I want to switch it up and stick it somewhere else? It's all sitting here waiting for me to shop my home and decide where it's going to go. I haven't been able to film this is the moved in office situation. Maybe now that my nest is empty and I have a little more time to myself, and we'll see if we can get it pulled together. On Monday, I have a meeting at 1. I have another one at 2:30. Yeah, I have another one at 2:30. I don't know who put a meeting at 2:30. That's a weird time for a meeting. My 1 o'clock meeting will last me maybe 15 minutes. I am the chair of our organization's MVP committee, so the monthly MVP. And that is when my MVP committee comes together to vote. But I actually have them do a vote on a spreadsheet that calculates scores in Microsoft Teams. By the time we come together, we have all the scores. My last MVP committee, because we switch it out on the fiscal year, which for us is July 1 to June 30. My last MVP committee last year, they liked to argue and plead their case on who they thought should be MVP if there were scores that were close to one another. This committee is all about the numbers. This person scored highest. Boom, done. Even if it's like 0.03% apart from it, they don't want to haggle. They're like, nope, give it to the person who scored the highest based on our scores, which I think is hysterical. What is that? Another meeting. There's my noon meeting, which I'll probably be late to because this one at 11:30 on Thursday is the actual surprise for our MVP for April. So we pop up with our CEO and they present whoever is MVP for the month their MVP award, which is always very fun for me because I get to go to different parts of our organization. Sometimes it's very jarring for the MVP, I'm not gonna lie, because sometimes people don't like to be recognized publicly. And sometimes introverts don't like being ambushed by me and the CEO and a photographer and the social media manager and all the people that we have come along with. And of course, all the people within their department or division that have helped organize this shocking surprise. But it's one of those things that the CEO actually does like to do in person. And he's not there very long. He presents it, takes some pictures, gives some hugs, and out the door he goes. But it's one of those things that you can always tell when somebody is pretty thrown by it and those who thrive on it. My MVP committee is meeting at 1. There's a lot of MVP stuff on this list. My MVP committee is meeting at 1 on Monday to vote for the MVP for May. At 10 o'clock on Tuesday, we're just going to put MVP plan. I am meeting with the person who is helping orchestrate the surprise on the other end on Thursday because I need to make sure I give our CEO very specific instructions on how that surprise is going down. So we're meeting briefly on Tuesday. I have a staff meeting on Wednesday. I am the chair of our Employee Appreciation Committee, and that meeting is at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. On Thursday, I have a special events committee meeting. Just so many meetings. I have a lot of them that fall at the beginning of the month. Is this dying? If you were here last week or the week before, I had one of these just die. It had plenty of ink in it, but I couldn't get the roller activated and rolling again. This is the MVP surprise, and this is an event meeting for an upcoming 5K walk run situation. It's always the one that falls on the lunch hour. And then Friday, I don't have any meetings right now. We'll see what happens or if it stays that way. That is what the meetings look like. I'm going to get my lunch hours planned in here. We'll mostly fall around the noon time. This one here always gets a little cut short because I'm prepping for this meeting that falls right after it. This meeting is a full hour, this noon one, so I'll take my lunch late since I have that MVP surprise before, and then back to the noon on Friday. Now that we've got that in, I do need to put in some project time so that I can go ahead sometime today before the work week starts, log into my Outlook, my work calendar, and block some time off so that people will leave me alone while I do some projects. Let's say from 9:30 to 11:30 here, we're just going to make a box. We're going to block off. Do I want to do that afternoon? Yeah, I think I'm going to block off this afternoon. Maybe just an hour and a half. There are some reports and things that I need to run ahead of this committee meeting here. So we're going to block that off. And then I really need to spend a huge chunk of time on an upcoming employee appreciation event there. This is event planning. CDC does not stand for the Centers for Disease Control, just to clarify that. More event planning there. This is event committee prep. And then this is more of this. It's an event that I'm very far behind on planning because we couldn't identify a budget for it or where the money was going to come from or what it was going to look like this year. Budget's tight for everybody these days, even most of the organizations that we work for. That gets my workday in for the week. There will be some changes. There will be some additions. I am going to put in spots down here for my dinners. I am keeping HelloFresh even though it is just me. The plan is to eat one portion, save a portion for lunch the next day or for dinner the next day. Not quite sure how I want to do that. I may actually resort to doing like a bento boxes for lunch and having just like nuts and hummus and veggies. I don't know what I'm going to do. Planning meals for one. Let's focus on that as we move down the page, and I'm just going in order as we go down this time. I have deliveries coming. I keep trying to just not order things, and then I'm finding that in order to make a specific space functional, I really do need to order a little something to help me out. I think I'm at the point where I've got the last of that in, or at least I need to rein it in. One of my goals for the next quarter is going to be a no-buy because I have got medical bills I now have to pay off after this last quarter. I have car bills that I have to pay off after this last quarter. Y'all have been here. You know, I don't like having things on credit cards. I don't like having things in any kind of debt. It makes me very nervous. Part of that is living with bipolar disorder and the number of times that my life over the last 30 years has been in complete upheaval because of my disorder. And these are natural life occurrences, right? These are things, my physical therapy that I have to pay for, my car, I have to have it. This is the United States, and unless you live in New York or someplace that has really great mass transit, you pretty much have to have a car. It's just how our society is here. So I had to get my car fixed. My car is limping along. That's where we at with the car. But I'm not even going to think about a new car until I pay off these things from this last quarter. All right, so I do have an Amazon delivery coming on Monday. I have another one coming on Thursday. It's a little bit of a storage unit with some really shallow drawers for my office. It's where paper and washi tape is going to go to live because my desk itself is one of those wood top desks that doesn't have any drawers or any storage in it. I purchased it before I started doing this and needed stationary storage. I had some stationary, but not like I do now. So I bought this thing. I'll show it to y'all when I film the video for the office if you're one of my patrons and you want to see that and see how that's going to be stored. That's what's coming there. I can't remember what's coming here. Oh, I think it's a very narrow, you know those little narrow carts for little narrow spaces like in your laundry room or your kitchen. I'm going to use one in my kitchen. Too much information. The two things I'm waiting for from Amazon. My delivery for HelloFresh is always on Tuesday because I'm remote and I'm working from home, so that's my designated delivery day. I could have put Amazon on my delivery day. I really thought I was going to get them sooner. They've been delayed. Down here, we are going to put weather. We're going to do weather differently. So first of all, I'm going to turn this so that I can write a little better. I'm not doing the icons. I don't feel like getting out the stencil. I don't want to deal with it, so we're just going to write some things in. I do want to give myself some lines. Let's go with the narrow side of this. Very lightly. Doesn't have to be super bold. You'll notice. And I forget this with the calligraphs. Do I have a scrap piece of paper nearby? It'll work on my washi paper. Hang on. Okay, so here's my Aprils for the rest of the month. Fat brush side. Thin brush side. One of these is not like the other. The thin side's definitively more green and less tan. That's okay. I didn't know that. I didn't test that side. I only tested the fat side. It is going to be pretty close to Beth's ideal week. Here in Arkansas, we are very guilty of often going 1,000 light speed, whatever, from winter to summer. And we just skip spring altogether. You just go from cold and miserable or rainy and miserable. We have a few tornadoes. Summer starts. It's kind of how it goes. We are actually having some spring days. I told y'all at the end of last week that this was going to be gorgeous. It was. I spent some time on my patio, even though I don't have great patio furniture. It's one of those wish list items for the future is good. I have a chair. It's fine. It doesn't have to be aesthetic. There is a chair, and I can sit out there and have some coffee. It's going to be gorgeous. Gorgeous. Monday is tomorrow. The high is going to be 77. The low is going to be 66. It is going to be cloudy tomorrow. Cloudy. See, we don't have to draw clouds. Just cloudy. We're going to draw a little raindrop. And we have a 50% chance of rain. That's fine. Other thing that's happening tomorrow is it is the last quarter moon. Let's grab my little circle stencil here. I wonder for a smaller circle. I wonder if I can skip over that. We're gonna go partway around this one and then fill that in ourselves. I don't know what that symbol's supposed to be. Anywho, what did I say? Last quarter moon. There we go. Last quarter moon. Tuesday, 72 high, 45 low. It's gonna be a result of these rains in the nighttime. There are gonna be some AM storms. So this is one of the ones, again, that if you look at the actual icon on the weather app, it's got multiple clouds, it's got a sun, it's got a lightning, it's got some rain. The typical spring day in Arkansas does not know what it wants to be. Chance of rain, though, is only 40%. And then Wednesday comes, and the high is 64, and the low 39. Not happy about that low, but it'll be all right. It'll be mostly in the nighttime. It is going to be sunny, and the chance of rain is 0. No rain. And then Thursday, 65, 39, I think, but sunny. So much sun. Bring me all the sun. My equatorial blood is craving it. And again, a 0% chance of rain. Am I on Friday? Sunny again, and again, 0% chance of rain. And then we get to the weekend, my people, and it is going to be 73, the low of 55. It is going to be sunny and 0% chance of rain. And on Sunday, 75, 55 again, sunny all day. And then that night, we have a 40% chance of rain. So I'm going to put PM next to it. I want to go do something outside on this weekend. Here is my conundrum. Monday is the solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse. And Arkansas is directly in the path of totality. Every hotel in this town is sold out for the weekend and Monday because we are the natural state. So people want to come and spend glorious time in this weather and then experience the eclipse the next day, which might be cloudy. We might not be able to. It's going to be gorgeous here, but they're saying on Monday there might not be much to see, which is hysterical if you have spent hundreds of dollars to drive here for 4 minutes of solar eclipse totality. There's a huge wedding thing going on in Russellville, Arkansas, where all of these couples are getting married at the time. I am also a fan of all sorts of lunar and celestial events. It's making for a difficult time for those of us who live here. This weekend's going to be difficult. The traffic is going to be getting into and out of town is going to be near impossible. I might just be sitting on my porch in this lovely weather on Saturday and Sunday. I don't know, because navigating around the state of Arkansas is going to be difficult. We all know it. It's just a whole thing. What else are we going to do? We are going to, down here below our weather, put in some play buttons for videos. So we are at the point where I can resume Saturday videos. So I managed to resume Wednesday videos, and now I can resume Saturday videos. Sundays, of course, are plan with me's. And if I do get overwhelmed or busy, these plan with me's are the ones that I drop, or I try to drop. But with the move and all of the other things that have been going on, I was very sporadic on my videos, was still trying to get Sunday ones up. Now we're at the point where we've got Wednesday ones back up. And this week, I'm hoping that we have a Saturday video, and I am back on schedule for Q2 of 2024 with my content. And I should be. Let's everyone, cross your fingers, everyone knock on wood, that Beth's Q2 is nothing like Beth's Q1. We just need 2024 to redeem itself. All right, decoration. I've cut some of my things out from my kit that I picked the ones that were ship related, as you can see. There's different ones to choose from, of course. See if I can grab them. Once I do my initial April plan with me, then I cut them into shapes that fit in back here so that I can take them around with me. And then the ones that I don't use, I have in a box in case I ever want to tap into them. So here are my Aprils. Got some florals. Here's some of my sea creatures, my sort of Poseidon type guy, and then some more corals and palm leaves, those sorts of things. But I've gone ahead and pre-cut out some of these so that we can decorate. So tell me, what was the biggest thing that you did this week? As I stated before, I now have an empty nest. But for me personally, the biggest thing that I did this week is that I removed all social media minus YouTube from my cell phone, my mobile phone, my computer that I hold in my hand. I just decided that I can't take it anymore, that I just don't want it there. Now, I had probably 6 months ago, 9 months ago, maybe even, I had moved all of my social media to a different tab, so it wasn't on the front page of my phone. It was on like the third, like I had to scroll to the right twice to get to it. And I had turned off all notifications. Friends would message me on Facebook. Then they would text me and be like, I messaged you on Facebook. And I don't get those notifications. I have to actively go 2 screens over, open a folder, tap on the icon to get into the social media. And it has been now removing it completely. I've gone days without logging into something like Facebook. I'm already bad at Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm sorry. I've struggled with Instagram ever since it no longer was a photo sharing app, because it's not anymore. It is about the reels, and it is about not there yet. It's just too much work for somebody who has a full-time job, who is a full-time content creator. I could probably put more effort into Instagram. But my personal Instagram, I haven't looked at my personal Instagram in I don't know how long. I do want to put 2 things over here, put 2 lists. We're just gonna take this line right on across. You can write over, if you use matte sticker paper. I used to use full sheet label paper, matte, Avery, if you need specifics. I currently use matte washi paper. You can write over top of it. So home, dots and beyond. And we are gonna just put some bullet points so that I can plan some things that I want to do for the week in both categories. I don't know if I'll need that much space. I may bring the list down a little further. That is my weekly plan with me. Now we do need to do my 52 lists project. We'll go ahead and flip back to last week, which I didn't write a whole lot last week in my list 13, which was list of things that always cheer you up. And like I put a good book, I put movement. I don't get enough movement, and yet I know it's gonna make me feel good. Those endorphins. Laughing with my boys, I keep coming back to my lists and adding little things. Now we need to jump ahead to April. This is my April setup. I still haven't done my quarterly reflection. I'm planning to do that this afternoon. I did decide, because I sat in on the bullet journal monthly ritual video on Bujo University, and I decided to put in an old school monthly log in here. Here's my header, list 14. If you're new here, this is from the 52 Lists project by Mariah Seal. Obviously, I put that in there a little crooked. I'm gonna give us just a little bit of a line there, just because. Here is my book, 52 Lists project. We're gonna open it up. We're gonna be on list 13 from last week. Oh, look at that. We have a spring separator. And then list 14. List the ways you can cleanse your life for spring. Plan one way you will cleanse this week, from your space and your closet to your mind and body. There's always ways to refresh. All right. List the ways you can cleanse your life for spring. There goes my pen again. And then maybe I'm just going to stick. I don't want to use a quote. I'd like to put a quote on the bottom, but I've put one here. So I think maybe I'm just going to put some of our seaweed and things. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. I have added a little shell, added some seaweed down here in the corner just to pull in our theme just a little bit. Let me know down in the comments below ways that you plan to cleanse your life for spring. It's a very Ostara prompt, so to speak, and we are in Ostara at the moment. We'll peek back at it next week, see how many of those I have filled in. Otherwise, here is our weekly plan with me. I am ready to go, set up, feeling a little bit better, feeling a little bit more settled as we move into April. Again, let's, do all the superstitious things and hope that it all goes better for Beth. If you like this video, you know what to do. Give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.